Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar, 4 Reasons a Modern Mobile PMS is Better Suited for Your Property. Presented by Stay in Touch. I'm your host, Rigola, and I'm joined by our presenter today, Sales Executive here at Stay in Touch, Ian Robert. Ian has numerous years of experience selling SaaS solutions to the federal government, government contractors, and the hospitality industry. Ian, like many Stay in Touch sales executives, takes a very consultative approach with his clients. His goal is to accurately understand their vision for the current project around their hotel, the challenges they may be facing with a traditional PMS, and show them how a mobile cloud-based SaaS PMS can help them overcome those challenges and enhance their overall guest experience at their property. Now, with that said, I'm going to introduce the webinar agenda, and then we'll jump into audience poll questions before we turn things over to Ian to go through those 4 key points. So here are some of the advantages of a modern PMS and why it is essential that hoteliers start to think in the mindset of moving away from those cloud or from the on-premise PMS into the cloud in a more agile PMS. Is really going to help redefine the guest experience and really bring operational efficiencies back to the forefront. So with a modern PMS, you can generate more revenue. We'll talk about how mobile technology can generate more revenue for your hotel. We'll talk about how you can run your hotel from any location and streamline communication across departments. We'll discuss creating a truly guest-centric experience that aligns with your guests' lives. And we'll also discuss the power of integrations. Enjoy IT simplicity with a cloud-based PMS. And towards the end of the webinar, we will have Ian show you guys a little bit of the Stay in Touch PMS and how it really aligns all of these core components and refocuses how you're operating your hotel. Now, before we move forward, I just want the audience to participate in 2 back-to-back poll questions. The first being, what is the most important factor when deciding on a new PMS for your property? Ease of use, mobility, flexibility, integrations, pricing, or product reliability? I'll give you guys about 5 to 10 seconds, actually 10 to 15 seconds to complete this, and then we'll move forward to the next one. About 5 more seconds here. All right, I am closing the poll and sharing the results. What is the most important factor when deciding on a new PMS for your property? 44% of you overwhelmingly say integrations, which is essential. When you're moving your PMS to the cloud, it's essential that you're able to actually leverage all of those best-of-breed solutions and that you have robust APIs built into your system so that you can connect and scale your business and scale the product at a consistent base. 22% of you say mobility and flexibility, which is also essential, and we'll talk in depth about that. And then 11% say ease of use, pricing, and product reliability. All right, I'm launching the second poll question. Does your current PMS enable housekeeping to change room status and access guest reservation information? Give you guys about 10 seconds here. All righty, I'm closing the poll, sharing the results. 56% of you say yes, which is pretty impressive. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about housekeeping and how you can use that to better the communication between your front of house and your back of house. All right, we are going to now move forward to the crux of our presentation, led by Ian. He's going to first talk about revenue generator, how you can position your PMS to be a revenue generator. So we're no longer thinking about the PMS as a cost thing that is just rooted on your property, but rather something that can drive revenue and be at the forefront of increasing your bottom line. Ian?
Thank you very much, Free. Appreciate you having me today. And yes, I think this is a very important topic. This is one that I normally speak with my customers about on a regular basis, and that's one of the main things with a cloud-based PMS and with Stay in Touch is really transforming that traditional PMS of normally a cost center into really a revenue generator. So the way we do that with Stay in Touch and a mobile cloud-based PMS is a number of different ways. So monetizing early check-in and late checkout. So this is doing a couple things for your guest and for your hotel. So one, it's enhancing the mobile guest experience for your guests. So really enhancing that experience and enhancing that really mobile experience that they're going to have at the hotel. And so it's doing, one, it's allowing them to check in early. So they like the control and choice that they have of having the option to early check in. And then it's also putting them in a good place to offer them different upgrades. So we can see, early check-in room upgrades. So rather than offering this to the guests once they receive and once they get to the actual property, this is, offering them these upgrades while they're on their own and giving them the control and choice, and someone's not actually directly asking them, so they don't feel pressured. So I don't know about you, but a lot of the times if I have the choice to choose an upgrade, I'm a lot more likely to purchase one of those rather than someone actually asking me. Also, the different ancillary services that you have available, as well as the reduced training time. So with a mobile cloud-based PMS, it's going to be a lot more intuitive. It's going to be a lot easier to use. And really the thinking around that is, kind of like with a iPhone or a smartphone that we normally use, right? We don't normally have any type of training manual that we're really going to read. We kind of just start using it. And it's very intuitive, easy to use, easy to figure out. And so that's going to allow us less time to actually, have to learn it ourselves and have more time of doing, our actual job in servicing our guests. And then simplifying the maintenance. So, a lot, with the cloud-based PMS, you're not going to find a lot more of the traditional costs associated with an on-premise PMS. So, the cost of the server, the cooling services, all the different services that you have to pay for around those different on-premise restrictions, as well as there's not a lot of maintenance that really needs to be done to a cloud-based PMS because we are updating the system on a regular basis. And so this is really, all these things together are really allowing you to put your guests in a situation that they enjoy, that you are offering them these upgrades, also putting them in a situation that they are more likely to purchase them, so creating more revenue for you. And, they're going to remember that choice and control that you've given them and, going forward. And so the second here, accessibility and productivity. So, really running your hotel from any location and streamlining the communication across the departments. So, this is really huge when it comes to a cloud-based PMS and really improving on the on-premise based PMS. So, you're not going to be tethered to a desk. You're able to perform these duties that you're going to be doing for your guests in different areas. So, you have everything that you need to do any of these things. So whether it be processing service requests, orders, bookings, if your staff has a, simply an iPad, as well as, some type of credit card swipe that may be able to, process payments or whatever, they're really able to do their job wherever they may be. So whether it be in a different place other than the actual front desk or a different place on the property or even away from the property, they're going to be able to be in tune to what's going on in the hotel and making any decisions or actions to keep it running smoothly. And then you can see here managers can view live performance. They can see in real time what's happening within the hotel. They can see, accessing key reports, monitoring financing and finances and reservations. So we're, as long as they have any type of mobile device, whether it be an iPad, a smartphone, a laptop, wherever it may be, they can be in tune to monitoring these different finances and reservations. And then also making strategic decisions about rates and adjustments and inventory. So, changes happen fast, and they're able to react to those quickly and make those strategic decisions that are going to be, pretty pivotal to the hotel performance. And then, also keeping in mind the different hotels and market conditions that are happening. Things change as well, with your different hotels and competitors that may be around you. So you're able to, if you see these changes happening, you're able to quickly, wherever you may be, you don't have to be at that on-premise site. You don't have to be at the actual at your actual property to be making these changes and keeping your hotel in close competition with those rates and market conditions. And then also, giving all of your staff really access to the PMS on the go, kind of going a little more further to what we were talking about, being able to assign tasks to different specific employees and really quickly being able to communicate with other departments instantly and simultaneously. So, with the cloud-based PMS, especially with Stay in Touch, you're able to really streamline the different functions within different departments, keeping everyone on the same page, giving them tasks for different departments, them allowing them to do these tasks, update these statuses, and letting everyone know that these things that have been assigned to them are going to be have been taken care of and the property is running smoothly. We can also see other things that you're able to do. So, instant room updates, occupancy and room status. So we talked a little bit about, if their housekeeping function with their PMSs allows them to do updates. With a cloud-based PMS, you can easily, once a housekeeper goes into the room, cleans and does whatever their assignments assigned to them, they can update the room accordingly. That way everyone knows, where this specific status of this room is, as well as having access to up-to-date guest names and VIP information. So knowing who are the VIP information of people. So being in tune to that information wherever you may be. With being able to access your mobile device, and as simple as being able to access the internet. As well as guest identification, so possible to open room doors. If your staff has all of the information, has an iPad, and has the ability to do these functions wherever they may be in the hotel, this is going to really enhance that guest experience and enhance that service that you're giving to the guests. So now if something goes wrong and you're in front of the guest, face to face at their room, whatever it may be, you have all the tools that you need to make things right for this guest. So whether it be opening the room doors or identifying this guest, you can quickly pull up their information, know that this guest is at this room, and allow them access to this room. So a lot of things really helping to what's important, and that is delivering that high level of service to your guests. And then instant reaction to queued rooms, having a smart system that's going to react the way that it's supposed to, the way that you have previously set it up, for any time room moves and different upsells, as well as early check-ins, late checkouts, as well as being in tune of what's happening in the actual property. So mentioning here, not knocking on guest doors. So being able to see this person is actually going to be checking out later today. I know because of this, because I have this mobile PMS, I'm able to easily look into this status. I know that I'm not going to want to knock on that door early in the morning. And so in turn, that's going to raise those service levels for your guests and for your hotel. And then guest engagement. So really, enhancing the guest engagement. We talk about enhancing the guest experience. So a cloud-based PMS is going to, like we talked about a little bit more beforehand, unhooking yourself, unchaining your staff from the actual front desk, allowing them to come around and really interface and engage with the guests face to face, enhancing and creating, more of a high level of service. So, bringing mobility to your staff and guests, really create a truly guest-centric experience that really aligns with, your guests' lives and, makes your hotel and business more successful. So, as well as with the front office, your staff can walk the lobby. If they find someone that has come in, they can say hello to them. They have all the tools that are available to check them in. If they have, an iPad and a credit card swipe to really check them into the hotel. Also, you can add, if you have what we call our Zest station, the self check-in actual stations at the hotel, then you can also, tell them, you can either feel free to go to the hotel front desk. You can go and self check in, whatever you may be, whatever they might prefer. So really giving them that control and choice. And then, processing and responding to guest requests in real time of, seeing different, allowing them to give different things that they might be expecting from their stay earlier, when it comes to engaging with them beforehand, allowing them that mobile checkout and asking, is there anything else that our staff should know to really give that high level of service. And then, like we've talked about before, viewing that room status and housekeeping updates instantly and being able to react to them. So, seeing if a room has become dirty or inspected or whatever it may be, or out of service. So being able to really deliver that high level of service to those guests and, of what they expect from your hotel. So, and then talking a little bit more about the guest engagement and the guest journey. So the digital check-in should be, just as pleasant as a as a highly attentive staff assisted check-in. And we definitely agree with this. So really making it an easy process, very simple steps to actually check in to your hotel. So, like I talked about before, asking the guest for details, keeping the staff informed. So giving that estimated arrival time, right? So what this is doing is really to giving your staff, a little more insight into when this guest plans on getting there so that they can plan accordingly to prioritize throughout the day and make sure that those specific rooms are ready to go when this guest is planning on getting there. As well as any special requests, whether it be, no feather pillows, no specific things the guest is allergic to, whatever it may be, you're able to have these ready to arm your staff with this information and deliver that high level of service. And also getting the, address and contact information, which is really detrimental to, interfacing with them before, during, and after their stay. And then, offering them opportunities to improve and personalize the stay. So we talked about, giving them these opportunities and options to really enhance their experience. So one being the early check-in. I don't know about you, but if I'm at the actual hotel, I'm ready to check in. I've had a long day of travel. I'm going to want to be able to, to check in early and get into my room. So if I'm offered that, just for a small fee, I'm most likely going to, to pick that, and I'm going to have a positive view of that hotel for, giving me that option. As well as room upgrades and packages. So with our room upgrades, and we'll get into this a little bit further when we get into the demo, but with room upgrades, if that's available, you can actually, with the mobile check-in, show the guest an actual picture of the, the room that they would be getting if they were to purchase this upgrade. So really they can kind of, see what they would be getting, picture themselves in this room. And, if it's a special weekend, whatever it may be, they're more likely to purchase that upgrade. And that's going to be, more revenue to your bottom line as well. And then, offering the room key details when the room is ready. So really telling them, all the specific steps, and very easy to pick up either the key from the front desk, visit a kiosk to cut your own key, or if it's even using the actual mobile keys for turning your actual phone into a actual mobile key. Whatever it may be, you'll be able to show this and communicate this to your guests. And then so integrations, obviously very important to our audience, and I think very important to all hoteliers out there. So really being able to enjoy the IT simplicity with a cloud-based PMS. So really being able to customize what your the look and feel of your whole operation of your hotel, right? So you having your PMS and being able to use the different technologies out there to really use what works for you in different areas, whether it be your POS or your CRS or the different areas and different technologies that you may use and that you may integrate to the hotel PMS. So allowing that, and also not hooking you to anyone specific, right? So not having a inbox type of solution that you have to use for your POS or you have to use for your for your whatever it may be, and allowing them to choose which one works for them. And also if something if they choose some type of integration that may not be a right fit for them, being able to have the ability, because it's a cloud-based system, there are other integrations that are able to connect to it. I can find something else that might work for me. Also, creating a powerful hub that really easily connects and integrates to the best of breed solutions. So solutions that we might not even know about today, right? So new things are coming up, every day. We need the ability to be able to connect to these new technologies to really evolve and keep up to date, with the times as they change. And then, just an all together better and easier user experience for your guests. So easy integrations, being able to easily communicate the two different technologies. So that's very easy for your staff to use, and in turn is going to have a better guest experience for your guests.
Okay, awesome. Now that is just the first half of the webinar. Thank you again, Ian, for going through that presentation. But we do want to give our audience a look into the actual system so that we can hit home some of these core elements that we talked about: the guest engagement, the pushing upsells and upgrades to capitalizing on that incremental revenue, the accessibility, the ease of use of the product, and how that really ties into giving the guests an overall better guest stay experience and giving them control along the way. So with that said, I'm going to pass over the presenter mode to Ian, who is he is going to show you guys a little bit of Rover PMS. Okay. Here we go. And before you jump into this, go ahead and accept. I do want to prompt our audience to go ahead and ask any questions. If you have any comments, please do so now. We'll get to that right after this presentation. There are a couple here that I can see, so we'll make sure to answer those questions before we wrap up this webinar.
Great, thank you, Free. So as Free mentioned, want to kind of show you a demo and show you kind of the guest experience of what your guests will experience when it comes to the mobile check-in and mobile checkout, and give you an idea of what that looks like. So you can see here, they would receive an email on the day of their arrival to the hotel, or whether it be 24 hours beforehand. So you can see the name of the hotel, and obviously this would be customized to look and feel like your brand and your website. So I see my name, and it's asking me, telling me that the hotel is welcoming me. I'm going to go ahead and start my check-in. So as you can see here, first it's bringing me directly to a browser. So as you can see, no app to install, no software for your guests to download. As long as they have any type of device that can access the internet, they can access this mobile check-in. So it's going to have some authentication information here. So it's asking my departure date. I'll put that in the last 4 digits that I put for my credit card, and this information can be customized as well. So I'll go ahead and say, so I'll go ahead and continue, and it's going to show me my stay details, just a summary of my stay at the hotel, the arrival date, departure date, my room type, my rate. From here, I will accept the terms and conditions, which would be your set terms and conditions that you would preload beforehand for your hotel. go ahead and continue this, and then this is where the first upgrade would be presented that we talked about beforehand. So if an upgrade is available for a higher room, then they would show this to the guests, and this is where you can see the different pictures that you can present to the guests so they can see themselves in this, and also with the click of a button very easily able to purchase this upgrade. And so again, no one's asking them, no one is pressuring them to upgrade, but they can choose this on their own. It makes it very simple. So now we upgrade this. Now I can see my new stay details, telling me my upgraded premium queen. And so from here, I'll go ahead and continue. And it's from here, we talked about this a little before, so asking some more information from the guest, so that's going to help your staff to really service the guests in the best possible way. So if they'll go ahead and put when they're planning on reaching the hotel, and this is going to allow your staff to know when to expect them and any specific information that they would maybe like the hotel to know. So something like no feather pillows. And so you're going to be able to easily service this guest in the way that they are hoping for. So as you can see here, optimizing this early check-in opportunity. So because we've asked for the estimated arrival, that's telling us the standard check-in times, typically 9 p.m. Obviously, that can be changed, whatever your standard check-in time is. But then it's going to offer the guest a $50 for purchase early check-in. Obviously, this value can be changed whatever you see fit for your hotel, and so they can easily purchase the early check-in. I've had a long day of travel, I want to get into my room, and I like the fact that I'm getting offered this. I'm going to definitely go ahead and purchase this. So now the early check-in has been added to my bill, and this is all going to be updated to the guest folio. And then you can also see, enhancing your stays even more. So whatever add-ons, whatever different things that you may offer at your hotel, this is where you're able to put these here. So whether it be, a massage, a bike rental, dinner, whatever it may be here, if there's other things that you would like to present to your guests to enhance their experience, that you'd be able to do this here, and also giving you a chance to collect some more incremental revenue. So, I want to see the city, I'll be around, and I will add a bicycle rental to my reservation. So from here, I will add this, and this will be updated. And now my pre-check-in is complete. So from here, I'm going to actually receive this mobile check-in is going to be put into the PMS, and it can be automatically assign them a room, and the guest would receive an email once their room is ready, and then telling them information on how and where to pick up a key. So that's just that's the guest experience of how it would work for the actual mobile check-in. So I will go ahead and show you the actual self check-in option as well. Give me 1 second. So I will unmirror my screen. And from here, so as you can see, this is an example of what we call Zest Station. So Zest Station is the self check-in option that that's available with Stay in Touch and with our cloud-based PMS. So this is giving them that control and choice that guests are expecting nowadays when it comes to service. And as you can see, pretty straightforward here. So allowing them to either pick up a key if they had checked in mobily like we just did, or checking in or checking out. So I will go ahead and click check in. It's going to ask me my last name. I will put in my last name here. And give me 1 second. And then from here, it's going to ask me my departure date, email confirmation. I'll go ahead and put my departure date. I'll be heading out tomorrow. And then from here, it's going to give you your reservation details. You can see the summary of my stay. I can add or remove guests if other folks are going to be coming with me later. And then I will go ahead and click next. I'll agree to the preloaded terms and conditions just like before. And then now it's asking me if I would like to an early check-in. So this a little different than beforehand. You are actually at the hotel, and so if a room is ready, it's going to offer you that standard check-in. If you are actually checking in before the standard check-in time, I'll go ahead and check in now. And again, just like with the mobile check-in, offering those add-ons to your guests, taking this opportunity, this extra touch point to offer any other, add-ons just like beforehand here. So I can either, purchase that or not, and I'll continue on. Then I will sign the screen. I can easily do that with my finger. Please excuse my handwriting, and I will go ahead and continue on. And then now it's going to assign me my room, asking me how many keys I would like. And now I have my keys. It will cut the key. And now I have gone to the hotel. I've checked in myself, and now I'm ready to go to my room.
Awesome. Before we move forward, Ian, I do want to get a couple questions in here. We have a couple specific to Zest Station. First being, is the room upgrade functionality part of Rover or via third-party integration?
So that's a great question. And the upgrade was the question?
Right.
Yeah, so that is within Rover. So you're able to actually set that and control that. So if there are folks that you would not like to offer an upgrade, whether it be like a VIP or someone that, a reoccurring guest that's always going to stay there and you're not going to charge them for an upgrade, whatever it may be, you don't have to send those to those folks. And this is, all up to you of how many upgrades you offer. You can set different, amounts that you might upgrade per day. You can set the number of different early check-ins available per day. You can also set, specific days and things like that. That you might not offer different upgrades. So it's really customizable however you want to present it to your guests. And this all done through the actual PMS, through Rover. So you're going to be in control of that.
All right, here's another one. Is Zest Station a tablet located on property for the guest to self-check-in?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
Is Zest Station a tablet located on the property for the guest to self-check-in?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So what the Zest Station is, it's kind of, an improvement on the, traditional kiosks. So not having a large, not having a large kiosk or something big that you have to build, but really just having the essential functions, which is an iPad, some kind of stand. A lot of folks have they use their traditional front desk and put it there to give them the guest the option to check in themselves, and then a credit card swipe and a key encoder. So it's very, minimal, but it's very easily done on an iPad and really sleek looking.
Yeah, we do have one question here related to pricing, cloud versus a on-premise solution. So what is the long-term, or what is the price comparison of cloud versus on-premise solutions in the long term? What is your forecast about cloud pricing in the future? Will that be cheaper or?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, with it being a cloud-based system, there's a lot less costs and different things that you have to worry about, right? So different, on-premise solutions, having the server costs, having the cooling costs, having the updates and upgrades and, regular maintenance visits, from your vendor. With the cloud-based system, all of that has gone away. So that's, the actual pricing is going to be a lot less cheaper when it comes to the total cost of ownership, because, you're not spending the money on a large premises, an on-premises server and all the things around it to keep it going. You're also not going to have a lot of upfront costs with the cloud-based PMS, because there's simply no need for those anymore, because we're handling those, remote and handling remote integrations and installations. And also, as well as the, when it comes to long-term, as you're owning this, like I said before, the upgrades, we upgrade our system on a regular basis, I believe on a monthly basis. So all those, you don't have to pay for those, when it comes to those, because we are easily able to upgrade the system because it is a cloud-based system. So you're going to instantly get those, as well as the, training, tiered support, different things like that. There's not a lot of, need for that. So, we aren't, when it comes to, a lot more of a simple pricing and a one-time and kind of all-inclusive type of pricing, rather than kind of nickel and diming you for specific different costs of things that cost to maintain that actual on-premise system. And I think in the long term, the the cloud-based is probably just going to get more efficient and more cost-effective as we go.
Absolutely. And we talk about the total cost of ownership. I think one thing that is most essential there is really understanding the age that we live in. This is a digital age. Nothing is going to stay the same. If there's one thing we can absolutely count on, is that there will be a new shiny toy that is wavered in front of you over and over again. So to have a system that is rooted in the cloud, that is essentially built to scale and to improve and to offer you a more streamlined approach to your operations, and to continuously improve and bring about new integrations and connect with new best-of-breed solutions, is something that you can count on. I think
Absolutely.
What we have now, it's not going to be enough tomorrow. So that's one thing we can guarantee, is that. So to have a solution that's going to improve over time is essential.
It's almost built for change, for being able to adapt to change. When, like you said, when things come about, it's easily able to adapt to those changes.
All right, absolutely. So let's wrap things up a little bit here. I want the audience to see a little bit of Rover or housekeeping, the housekeeping functionality, and then maybe we can take a couple more questions, and then we can close things out.
Absolutely, yeah. So just quickly, just want to show you a couple things of Rover here. So this is Rover. This is the actual PMS. This is what is going on in your hotel at the moment. So you can see very intuitive design. Green means go, red means stop, and these green color cues go throughout the whole system. So when we go into the housekeeping and someone's checking in, green, checking out, very easy to understand what's happening. You can also see a quick snapshot of your occupancy for today, for the next few days, for the month, or for the year, as well as your rooms here. If you look down to the statistics, you can see a little bit more of specifics of what's going on in your hotel very quickly and easily. The ADR, your upsell, and your rate of the day. And then if we go here, we can quickly look to the right-hand side and on the availability, and then we can quickly see the availability within the hotel, not even actually leaving that front screen. So we can see here, we can change different things, whether it be availability, house status, item inventory, all these different views here, as well as your different ranges. You can also see, obviously, if there's a double arrow, we can expand and see more information on these specifics. So we can quickly see, our availability and what's going on at our hotel at this time. We can also see, if we were to change the actual size, this is going to react to the actual size of the whatever device we're using it. So if we're on a mobile device like an iPad or even a smartphone, it's going to react to that, and so that we're able to view this whichever mobile device we're using, or whether it be a laptop or a desktop as well. If we look here at the menu stack, we can see all the different areas within a normal PMS. We can see our front desk, our groups, revenue management, our housekeeping, financials, action manager, and reports. And you said one of our folks wanted to see the housekeeping function?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. Yeah, so we can easily do that. So we can look to the housekeeping. We see we have room status and task management, and we'll go ahead and click on the room status first. So this is, we were talking a lot about this, of really keeping everyone on the same page, and this is a big portion of that. So this is allowing you to, for all of your staff, your housekeeping staff, to know what's going on and be on the same page. So we can quickly see here, these folks are checking in at 3 p.m. I very quickly know not to knock on that door at 9 a.m. or whatever it may be. I can see the different. I can see that this person's checking in. This one is a stayover. I can very easily in tune see what's happening within all these different rooms. And if I go ahead and click one of these rooms, I can quickly change the status and keep everyone up to date within the staff. So we go here for the actual, we can go to the work area, we can look at the room status, and we can choose inspected, pick up, dirty, or clean. So if this room is dirty, it was dirty before, now I've cleaned the room, I've gone through and done my task, and now I'm going to clean the room, and so now it's clean. And then once that whatever your system is, if you have your executive housekeeper come through, they can come through, look at it, inspect it, and mark it as inspected. So also being able to check on the room and change the status of the actual room. So if something happens, if there's a something needs to be fixed, we can put it out of order, out of service very easily. We can put in the information of around what needs to be fixed. We can choose the reason. If we have a whatever it may be, if there's a plumbing issue, we put that here, and then we can update that. And then this will be logged within the actual log, so we can see who on the staff has made these changes to the specific, to these specific rooms. And then whoever this is assigned to is going to get assigned to them, and they can see what has been assigned to them, and they can make the changes accordingly. So, this is an improvement on your traditional, you see something's wrong, the housekeeper writes something on a note, puts it in their pocket, and kind of, forgets about it. This is keeping everyone being very easily able to update this on a mobile device, whether it be given to the actual staff member by you or using their own device. As long as they can access the internet, they can access the PMS and make these changes.
Awesome. Now we are nearing the end of our webinar, so I want to make sure we don't go over time. We do have a couple of questions here that I want you to address before we wrap up. First being, can I control who has access to specific areas in Rover?
Absolutely, it's a great question. So yeah, so it's a rule-based system that you're able to to assign the different functionalities and different authorities to different parts of the staff. So if your housekeeping just has access to the housekeeping access, you can establish that and set that beforehand, as well as making sure maintenance doesn't have access to the rate manager in different areas. So really keeping everyone accountable and making sure everyone's kind of staying in the areas that they're supposed to.
Awesome. And can you customize which guests you offer a mobile check-in or early check-in to?
Absolutely. So another great question. Kind of answer this a little bit, but yes. So like we mentioned before, if there's any specific guests, that are VIPs, that are different guests that expect a certain level of service that you don't want to offer these upgrades to because they're already spending a bunch of money, whatever it may be, you can definitely set that these specific folks, won't receive the mobile check-in offers.
Okay. So we have a comment here, which leads to a question. There are PMS giants dominating the market for years with their on-premise solutions, and today they invest on Agile. So on the other hand, many newcomers with cloud products, there are so many cloud providers around every day, and a new cloud PMS is popping up from one country. Purchasers get confused when it comes to selecting one. What do you see about the future of this market? Are we going to have so many providers in the future? That's a good question. Will some of this just be consolidated into some big giant ones that are now cloud-based, or are we going to continuously see this rapid growth within this industry, more newcomers coming onto the forefront, and how do you choose with all these different solutions on the market?
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible, that newcomers are coming about. They're seeing the success of new cloud-based PMSs out there. And I think it's, going to come down to staying power. A lot of folks can come about, but not everyone can stick around. Right. So I think, we can look at, who different folks have worked with in the past, who their customers are, who's adopting them, who's, really adopting to this new PMS. And, it's definitely a good point to think about that if these folks find success, then it's possible that some of these larger PMSs will simply start to look to acquire them and kind of put into their, into their PMS. But, I think it'll be kind of a mixed bag of different things that may happen in the future. You'll probably see some new ones, some, someone's stay and go, and others kind of join forces with some of the larger ones out there. But I think it's also going to, have to be whatever the vision is for that particular cloud-based PMS.
I think that's a good point. It's that you can't choose technology based just on technology. You really have to understand the vision, the mission behind it. What is the roadmap? The product roadmap? Where's the strategic roadmap for the company or the provider that you choose to go to? What do they see in the future of hospitality? What integrations and new ideas are they putting to the forefront? How are you going to hold them accountable to making sure that the service is steadfast? Because when it comes to SaaS, the power is in your hands. This is a month-to-month subscription. These are year-long or 2-year-long contracts. You do not have to buy it and then walk away from your vendor, not ever having to hold them accountable. You have the power within your hands to say, listen, you work for me. If this product is not reliable, if I am not confident in the vision that you lay out, if you're not communicating with me, if you're not choosing to put me or to make me a priority and to make sure that my success is essential to your own, then I'm going to walk away. That's a powerful thing, to be able to walk away and say that you weren't good enough for me, so I'm going to look for the next provider. And then guess what? The next time I'm going to know what not to look for. So with SaaS comes more control, not just for your guests, not just for your staff, but for you as a business. You have the control to leverage that power and to hold your provider accountable. So I would say any situation that you walk in, especially when it comes to uprooting your whole operations, moving to the cloud, picking a new provider, you need to be asking these questions. Ask them what they can do for you. What is their idea for the future? How are they going to make sure that they're going to be essential in making sure that you are successful in your day-to-day operations and in your effort to scale your own business. So we do have 2 more questions here. I want to make sure we get to them before we wrap up, really. Do you have rates for setting price and seasonal price?
Yes, absolutely. So we do have, I can show you the rate manager really quickly. So if we go into the revenue management and we go into the rate manager, and obviously, getting more specifics into these things, we'd be happy to, if anyone has questions or really wanting to get into a little more specifics when it comes to the functionality and different things of this, we'd be happy to set up any type of specific demo or call, a meeting to get into these a little further. But just as a kind of a high level overview, so you can see, the rate manager, you can see, here your different rates. You can make the different changes to the rates here. I won't get into it too much today, but just to give you an idea, we can see all of our different specific rates here. We can go ahead and look at the different ones for specific days, or we can look at changing things across all the rates. We can look at changing them across the dates. We can, if I click on one of these rates, we can, set these to different restrictions. We can close them off, close to arrival, clicking the, minimum length of stay, minimum stay through. So really customizable and allowing you to, putting whatever works for you. You can simply, change these rates, applying these restrictions, streamlining it across however many days, whatever it may be. Setting a specific range, so really, allowing you a lot of flexibility, and also helping to make it easy to make these changes, and also, kind of like streamlining them as well.
Awesome. And there is a question about connectivity to channel managers. I'm guessing the question is what channel managers we connect to?
Yeah, so we have a few channel managers that we connect to: SiteMinder, Windsurfer, TravelClick, Travel Tripper, Cubulus in Europe, I believe. And yeah, so we're and with those channel managers, we do have, a direct connection with them. So really making it easy for that information and those technologies to talk to each other, making it easy to get those, any changes or different things that you make within your system, and getting that out and making sure those changes reflect on the different channels.
Awesome. All right. Again, thank you, Ian, for the presentation and for showing our audience a little bit about the product. There is much more to show, and I do encourage our audience to look out for a follow-up email or an outreach from one of our reps here at Stay in Touch to maybe go deeper and see the product in more depth and understand, how it could really, how the product can be an essential tool for you to drive additional revenue and obviously operational efficiencies. So again, I want to thank our audience for sticking with us the whole way through, and I hope to see you next time. In fact, tomorrow, if you want to join, we do have a live demo. We do a weekly live demo every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So, if you want to join, I'll send a link to that in the follow-up email, and you guys can get a deeper look into our product.
Yeah, Daryl's the expert. So
yes, a little bit deeper there. All right, guys, have a good day.